If you could describe Sonic in one word, what would it be? I think most people, including myself, would say fast or speed. And it makes sense. Sonic's biggest power, aside from turning into a ball, is to run really fast. If you really think about it, Sonic's entire existence was to make something cool. And what's cooler than to be fast? I personally think that Sonic 1 wasn't a success because of the outstanding level design, the graphics, or even the music. I think Sonic 1 was a success because of, well, Sonic. Because of his attitude, because of his design, because of his speed. While I think speed is one of the most important things for Sonic as a character and as a brand, it's not how much speed you have, it's how you portray that speed what matters. Yeah, big numbers are cool, but I don't give a f the moment I can feel the speed. And this is what this video is about, the portrayal of speed in Sonic games. This ranges from animations, to gameplay, to level design, to even story. I want to see how the series has evolved and de-evolved with this fundamental design aspect the series has had ever since the first game. Looking at how they wanted to do it, how they actually do it, how does it affect the rest of the game, and how it can be improved or changed. Of course, I will not talk about every single Sonic game. This mainly applies to spin-offs because they are way too different from the main games, or I just don't have the knowledge necessary. So things like the racing games, for example, are out of the picture. But without further delay, let's see the evolution of speed in Sonic games. Like almost every Sonic video I do, let's begin with Sonic 1. Now, this game is very special. Since it's the first Sonic game, there really isn't anything to compare to. And I think that's why Green Hill is a perfect introduction. And I know Green Hill has been talked about endless times about how great the music is, how good it looks, how it shows the unique aspects of the series without having to explain anything and this and that. But I want to focus on this. This moment not only defines this game, but also defines the series as a whole. And for this video, it defines how speed is and should be presented. This moment shows that 1. Speed is a reward, 2. Speed is a tool, and 3. Speed feels good. I think a balance of these three aspects is essential to the core Sonic experience, which is why everything goes downhill the moment we get to Marble Zone. And okay, I want to make this very clear. Speed isn't and shouldn't be everywhere at every second. If it was, it would destroy the reward aspect while making fast segment not as fun. Now, with that said, this zone sucks. It goes completely against everything built up on Green Hill. I don't have a problem with platforming in Sonic games, but that platforming needs a balance with segments that use your speed for reward. For example, Spring Yard Zone. I have seen a lot of people disliking this zone, but to me, it's one of the few times Sonic 1 has achieved perfect balance. It does have very slow parts, yes, but almost everything can be skipped with the help of these segments where you build up speed. At first they seem like just fun segments and nothing more, but these moments use speed in fantastic ways. Building enough speed to reach a secret ledge with some speed shoot to just rocket off the map is a feeling that you can only get in this stage, and I love that! Moving on at a faster rate, Labyrinth Zone and Scrap Brain Zone fall in the same way Marble Zone did. To be fair, those zones do have segments of speed, but I can count those instances on the Sonic 2 American box art. Now Satellite Zone follows closely Spring Yard, not to the same degree, but still in amazing ways, like at the start of Act 3. But outside of the gameplay side of things, there is also the amazing running animation. Even when you are just running normally, you still feel like a speed demon. It just goes to show that you don't need to be fast to feel fast. The reason I spent this much time on the first game is because this game is a perfect way to introduce my general feelings of how speed should be handled, or at least how it should be handled in the classic games. With that said, Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 take that foundation and just runs with it. Sonic 2 goes in the more cinematic aspect, where there isn't really much happening gameplay-wise, but even still, Sonic 2 still shows how speed can be used to get power-ups and go into faster routes, and that's thanks to the Spin Dash. Now with it, every place can be used to gain speed and to use that speed. And then there is Sonic 3. Man, Sonic 3. Talk about perfect balance. Sonic 3 really is the culmination of the entire classic saga. The balance of platforming and speed is just something else. It has the slow but fun platforming, it has the segments where you just hold forward and enjoy, and it has the moments where you can use the speed for your advantage. Just, God, this game is good! Oh yeah, I forgot about CD. It falls more in the Larynx Zone side. Oh, and the Super Pillow looks amazing. That's about it. Moving on, we have Sonic Adventure. And this is where things get complicated. We just enter a new dimension and we now have 7 different characters, each with their unique playstyle. Let's start with the most simple, Sonic. Sonic actually flows very closely to classic games. Stages like Emerald Coast, Windy Valley and Radical Speedway show us that perfect balance between platforming, set pieces and using your speed for your advantage. Then we have stages like Casinopolis and Ice Cap that, while still keeping that balance to some degree, they have some serious space killers. And again, I do like me some set pieces, but when the majority of the stage is just using snowboarding and pinball, there is a problem. Like, look at the classic games. Those games also have segments just like this one, but the difference is that they are integrated into the stage or they are short. And pace killer. That's a very important word, because no matter how fast or slow the game is, it has to be consistent. We hear this a lot. If a great part of a game is super fast compared to the other parts of that game, the slower parts will feel bad no matter how good they actually are. Which leads us perfectly into the other characters. To be honest, Tails, Gamma and even Knuckles, while being very different, they still have a very similar pace to Sonic. It's like going from 200cc to 150cc in Mario Kart. Like, yeah, it's way slower, but it's not slow enough where I hate it just because I was playing the faster mode just a second ago. Amy and Big in the other hand. Amy feels like 50cc. Like, I recognize this is still the same game I love, but it feels like I'm playing in slow motion. And Big, if the boys are 150cc and Amy is 50cc, then Big is like going from 200cc in Mario Kart to Sega Pro Bass Fishing from the Dreamcast. And I can already hear the Sonic Adventure Defense Force, and trust me, I am in that group too. But again, pace killer. It doesn't matter how funny Big is, it doesn't matter how the gameplay complements the story in Amy's. Putting these two types of gameplay with a completely different pace right next to each other is only going to hurt both in the fight for relevance. I could go on and go about what makes the Sonic stages so good or how Big stages are slow, but let's move on, we still have a ton of games to cover. No, wait, actually, we need to talk about this running animation. It's honestly genius what they did. Like, okay, first we have Sonic shoe stretching. This animation technique called squash and stretch is exactly what it says. Squashing and stretching the characters to make them feel more lively and fluent. There is that, and there is this effect that makes it look super blurry. This, added with the exaggerated animation, makes for a great illusion for the classic running animation. This all sounds too amazing, but most of you don't remember Sonic looking this good. Well, for some reason, they took out the blur effect on the running animation, and in the DX port, they took out the squash and stretch on the shoes. Why? This is some amazing work, why would you take it off? And worse, this is the only time they ever did this. Every other running animation in 3D looks like garbage, and if you think it doesn't matter, 1. Shut the f up, and 2. Get yourself educated on basic animation before giving shit faces. Like, God! Next up is Sonic Adventure 2. This game does a lot to keep pacing consistent. First, we have the speed stages. These stages take more on the Sonic 2 design philosophy of having tons of flashy set pieces while still keeping the balance of the other aspects. Some people may prefer the style of Adventure 1, but the point here is not to determine the best gameplay style. It's about the pace and how they utilize speed. But I should probably address the elephants in the room. the mech and treasure hunting stages. They are good. I often hear people say that these parts slow the game to an obnoxious degree, but I couldn't disagree more. I think both of these styles still keep the fundamentals the speed stages have. I think the main problem people have is that getting used to the controls can be hard, since this isn't like Sonic when you can just hold up for some speed. You gotta learn! Maybe just me because I have played this game so many times, but these stages are really fun and don't break the pace in any sense. I think of these stages the same way to SA1. It's like going from 200cc to 150cc. Yeah, it's slower, but nothing outright terrible. Also, Sonic's running animation sucks. Next up is Advance 2? Yeah, before moving on to Heroes, I want to take a small detour to Advance 2. Why you ask? Because of this. This is the boost mode. It's simple. You run really fast for a bit and then you go boom. I don't want to talk about boost mode itself. I want to talk about what it represents. To me, this is the beginning of what I call way too fast. Sonic always has been fast, but it was always manageable. The video games knew that yes, going fast is fun, but you need balance. I think the reason something like boost mode was invented is to appeal to the normal everyday gamer that sees Sonic and just go, that guy is fast, without considering every other aspect of the game design. I don't want to spend too much time on why this obsession with speed ruins the game for me, because I eventually want to give this game its own million just like Advance 1. But just remember this section of the video, because it will matter a lot. But before that, let's talk about Heroes. I'm not the biggest fan of Heroes, but I do have to say, this game does a phenomenal job handling speed and pacing, and it's all thanks to the team mechanic. This way, every aspect gets to shine on its own while not affecting the others. You have the speed characters for your classic set pieces and fast beat action, your flying characters for platforming and exploration, and finally you have your power characters for combat. The game does a pretty good job at having a balance between the three characters. It never feels like a stage is just for Sonic or just for Tails, it's always a team effort. Heroes does have its fair share of problems, but for the purposes of this video, this game is a great example. Too bad everything this game did got immediately abandoned, which leaves us at the perfect spot to talk about Sonic Rush. And yeah, this game has the same problem as Sonic Advance 2. It's just too fast, man. Half of the time I'm missing jump and the other I'm falling to my death. Every gimmick it tries to throw fails because it has to compete with the boost. And the worst part is that you make this game for the DS. Do you know the resolution of the DS? The answer is not enough. And I can already hear the arguments of, but the soundtrack slaps, bro. And yes, that soundtrack do be hitting different, bro. But I feel this obsession with making Sonic as fast as possible only hurts in the long run. And there is no better example than that. Sonic 06. To be honest, I don't want to talk about this game. It has been hated to death and beyond, and I really want people to stop being negative and look at the positive sides of even games like this one. But this video would feel incomplete without it. So, what a fucking mess of different paces! We have this pretty good pace akin to the adventure games, but then we have the max speed section. And this is the part where I bring up Sonic Advance 2 again, because this is speed for the sake of speed. It's fast, yeah, but at what cost? I'll tell you the cost. Everything. No platforming, no exploration, no control, no tools, no reward, no alibi, no justice, no dreams, no hope. And when you are not running into walls at supersonic speed, you are moving in slow motion with characters like Silver, Tails or Omega. Just a constant battle of different gameplay styles and speed. This game really does go against everything I have said in this video. Even in the amazing and groundbreaking Project 06, link in the description, parts like the max speed sections, while better, are still clashing in contrast to the rest of the game. But hey, it can't get any worse. There is literally not a single game where the difference between gameplay styles are night and day. God f***ing damn it. Sonic Unleashed! So, let's start with the positives. This game introduces the boost formula to the 3D space and wow, they managed to take the max speed section from OC and the boost from Rush and made it work in a fantastic way. It's hella fast, but they managed to balance that with platforming really well. I rarely feel like I can just hold boost or that I can react for coming jumps. Every single stage in Sonic Unleashed really makes me feel the speed. Getting some of those S ranks really makes you feel like a complete speed demon master. Until... First of all, I want to say that I actually really like the Werehog. I like the more platforming and combat focused level design, and I think that you don't need to go super fast all the time to make a good Sonic game. But with that said, talk about a pace killer! You go from this complete experience of speed to God of War because let's be honest, the Werehog was only made for two reasons. To pad out the game so you can beat it in 30 minutes, and to capitalize in the success of the hack and slash genre. Because this has no place right next to the boost formula. I hate saying the same things over and over again, but it doesn't matter how good it is. If it clashes with a side of a game that people like, it's just not going to feel good. Also, side note, can we talk about this run animation for a sec? Because since this game, every game had more or less the same animation, and I don't know if this is a popular opinion or not, but the running animation f***ing sucks. It's just so lifeless. It looks like Sonic's not even trying. Maybe they want to do that effect where objects that move back and forth very fast look like they're going slower, but it just doesn't work here. And it's sad that this is the animation we got stuck on for the last decade. Though in a more positive note, I have seen in recent times attempts to fix this. And the best example is the Marsa Sonic mod for Generations. It fixes my complaint of the legs not moving fast enough, but it also makes the sound effects of Sonic's feet louder. You know, the yeah, that. It sounds like a stupid little change that no one will notice, but I really like it. And that alone basically fixes the feeling of Sonic not trying hard enough. Check the mod out, link in the description. And with no good transition, here we have Sonic Colors. This game is a perfect example that sometimes you don't need to go super fast all the time for a good Sonic game. Despite Sonic Colors sharing the same formula as Unleashed, this game is way slower and focuses more on platforming and puzzle aspects, while still having those sweet moments just for speed. Sonic Colors knows what it is. From the limited boost to all the wisps, it's clear that Sonic Team wants a more simple and fun game, and there is nothing wrong with that. But that makes it less interesting to tag, so instead let's turn our head to Sonic Generations. Oh my god, they actually did it. They made two different styles of gameplay that complement each other while still keeping that balance I love in both styles. First, Modern Sonic, basically the same strengths as Unleashed, but now, Classic Sonic. Nowadays, when people talk about Classic Sonic in Generations, they say, meh, at least it's better than Forces, and I heavily disagree. Why? Scale. What do I mean? Well, unlike the classic games, Sonic Generations is a 3D game, and they use this aspect to make you feel fast. Look at Green Hill, Cityscape, Crisis City. Levels like these are always changing the perspective around you to show you how this little baby boy just goes f***ing nuts. Scaling buildings, mountains, clocks, and just going from place to place in a couple of minutes. I think this is because the backgrounds are gorgeous, full of life, making you see this and go, wow, this place is huge and I'm doing laps around this place. And I think it's very important to show this because Modern Sonic is right there at the push of a button. So it wouldn't matter if Classic Sonic controlled like Mania, because it would feel boring compared to the big boy. And speaking of Mania, yeah, that's just a perfect game, my guy. Basically Sonic 3, but even better in some aspects. Not much to talk about really. Except that little details like the new super run animation and the after images when using the speed shoes really go incredible lengths to making you feel fast. People need to understand that good animation is crucial for games to feel good. That's when some fans are scared of Sonic Frontiers reusing the Forces idle animation. Speaking of which, Sonic Forces fails in every single aspect compared to Sonic Generations. Okay, I'm being a little rude. The art speedrun looks really cool yep, that's about it. It's a little bit faster compared to Colors, but unlike that game, Forces still thinks it's like Generations. The difference is that Sonic Forces has almost nothing interesting in its level design. There is no sense of scale, speed, or platforming, and not even the animations can save it. This is the most lifeless Sonic ever. Somehow they make the animation in Generations look like something straight out of Pixar. But that's just modern Sonic. What about classic Sonic? Nope, just as bad. Maybe even worse since they don't have that care that the backgrounds and camera had for Generations. Okay, maybe the Avatar. Nope, it's better than classic Sonic, and that's not saying much. Really didn't want to end a sour note, but hey, it is what it is. Anyways, what did we learn? We learned that every game needs to hold a balance between speed, control, and platforming. We also learned that every game can have its own pace. No matter how fast or slow, if it keeps the balance, it's good. We also learned that things like animation, backgrounds, or other graphical things in general can go to great lengths to make the experience that much more enjoyable. And finally, we learned that if a game has different playstyles, each one of those playstyles has to consider the pace of the other playstyles. The last thing you want is for everyone to hate your second playstyle just because it's not fast enough. In the end, I think most Sonic games do clear most of these lessons, but I also think it's important to look at the times the game didn't clear those lessons with a more positive light. Instead of thinking, this sucks, get it out of here, Sega needs to think, this didn't quite work out, let's see what works and what doesn't work to improve in the future. I think with that mentality, later Sonic games can only get better and better. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments how do you think they have handled speed in Sonic games, and how should be handled in the future. And while you are down there, why not like the video and subscribe if you like this type of content. That's all from me, and I'll see you on the next drive.